Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing. It is very warm today, so it's going to be I'm already slightly, as you may be able to tell, failing with my words. So hopefully this will go okay. But anyway, we are going to continue to read Thus Spoke Zarathustra, Book 4, which is always a struggle. So let's get going. At last, however, he became old and soft and mellow and pitiful, more like a grandfather than a father, but most like a tottering old grandmother. There did he sit shrivelled in his chimney corner, fretting on account of his weak legs, world-weary, will-weary, and one day he suffocated of his all-too-great pity. "Thou old Pope," said here Zarathustra, interposing, "hast thou seen that with thine eyes? It could well have happened in that way, and also otherwise. When gods die, they always die many kinds of death. Well, at all events, one way or other, he is gone. He was counter to the taste of mine ears and eyes. Worse than that I should not like to say against him. I love everything that looketh bright and speaketh honestly. But he, thou knowest it, forsooth, thou old priest. There was something of thy type in him, the priest type. He was equivocal. He was also indistinct. How he raged at us, this wrath-snorter, because we understood him badly. But why did he not speak more clearly? And if the fault lay in our ears, why did he give us ears that heard him badly? If there was dirt in our ears, well, who put it in them? Too much miscarried with him, this potter, who had not learned thoroughly. That he took revenge on his pots and creations, however, because they turned out badly. That was a sin against good taste. There is also good taste in piety. This at last said. Away with such a god. Better to have no god. Better to set up destiny on one's own account. Better to be a fool. Better to be God oneself. What do I hear? Said then the old Pope with intent ears. O Zarathustra, thou art more pious than thou believest, with such an unbelief. Some god in thee hath converted thee to thine ungodliness. Is it not thy piety itself which no longer letteth thee believe in a god? And thine over-great honesty will yet lead thee even beyond good and evil. Behold what hath been reserved for thee. Thou hast eyes and hands and mouth, which have been predestined for blessing from eternity. One doth not bless with the hand alone. Nigh unto thee, thou though professest to be the ungodliest one, I feel a hale and holy odour of long benedictions. I feel glad and grieved thereby. Let me be thy guest, O Zarathustra, for a single night. Nowhere on earth shall I now feel better than with thee. Amen, so shall it be, said Zarathustra, with great astonishment. Up thither leadeth the way, there lieth the cave of Zarathustra. Gladly, forsooth, would I conduct thee thither myself, thou venerable one, for I love all pious men. But now a cry of distress calleth me hastily away from thee. In my domain shall no one come to grief, my cave is a good haven, and best of all, would I like to put every sorrowful one again on firm land and firm legs. Who, however, could take thy melancholy off thy shoulders? For that I am too weak. Long verily should we have to wait until some one re-awoke thy God for thee. For that old God liveth no more. He is indeed dead. Thus spake Zarathustra. Chapter 67. The Ugliest Man. And again did Zarathustra's feet run through mountains and forests, and his eyes sought and sought, but nowhere was he to be seen whom they wanted to see. The sorely distressed sufferer and crier. On the whole way, however, he rejoiced in his heart and was full of gratitude. What good things, said he, hath this day given me as amends for its bad beginning? What strange interlocutors have I found? At their words will I now chew a long while, as a good corn. as at a good corn. Small shall my teeth grind and crush them, until they flow like milk into my soul. When, however, the path again curved round a rock, all at once the landscape changed, and Zarathustra entered into a realm of death. Here bristled aloft black and red cliffs, without any grass, tree, or bird's voice. For it was a valley which all animals avoided, even the beasts of prey, except that a species of ugly, thick, green serpent came here to die when they became old. Therefore the shepherds called this valley Serpent's Death. Zarathustra, however, became absorbed in dark recollections, for it seemed to him as if he had once before stood in this valley. A much heaviness settled on his mind, so that he walked slowly, and always more slowly, and at last stood still. Then, however, when he opened his eyes, he saw something sitting by the wayside, shaped like a man, and hardly like a man, something nondescript, and all at once there came over Zarathustra a great shame, because he had gazed on such a thing. Blushing up to the very roots of his white hair, he turned aside his glance and raised his foot that he might leave this ill-starred place. Then, however, became the dead wilderness vocal, for from the ground a noise welled up, gurgling and rattling, as water gurgleth and rattleth at night, through stopped-up water pipes, and at last it turned into human voice and human speech. It sounded thus: Zarathustra, Zarathustra, read my riddle. Say, what is the revenge on the witness? I entice thee back. Here is smooth ice. See to it, that thy pride doth not here break its legs. Thou thinkest thyself wise, thou proud Zarathustra. Read then the riddle, thou hard nutcracker, the riddle that I am. Say then, who am I? When, however, Zarathustra had heard these words, what think ye then took place in his soul? Pity overcame him, and he sank down all at once, like an oak that hath long withstood many tree-fellers, heavily, suddenly, to the terror even of those who meant to fell it. But immediately he got up again from the ground, and his countenance became stern. I know thee well, said he, with a brazen voice. Thou art the murderer of God. Let me go. Thou couldst not endure him who beheld thee, who ever beheld thee through and through, thou ugliest man. Thou tookest revenge on this witness. Thus spake Zarathustra, and was about to go, but the nondescript grasped at a corner of his garment, and began anew to gurgle and seek for words. Stay, said he at last. Stay, do not pass by. I have divined what axe it was that struck thee to the ground. Hail to thee, O Zarathustra, that thou art again upon thy feet. Thou hast divined, I know it well, how the man feeleth who killed him, the murderer of God. Stay, sit down here beside me. It is not to no purpose. To whom would I go but unto thee? Stay, sit down. Do not, however, look at me. Honour thus mine ugliness. They persecute me, now art thou my last refuge. Not with their hatred, not with their bailiffs. Oh, such persecution would I mock at, and be proud and cheerful. Hath not all success hitherto been with the well-persecuted ones? And he who persecuteth well learneth readily to be obsequent, when once he is put behind. But it is their pity. Their pity is it from which I flee away and flee to thee. O Zarathustra, protect me, thou my last refuge, thou sole one who divinest me. Thou hast divined how the man feeleth who killed him. Stay, and if thou wilt go, thou impatient one, go not the way that I came. That way is bad. Art thou angry with me because I have already racked language too long, because I have already counselled thee? But know that it is I, the ugliest man, who have also the largest, heaviest feet. Where I have gone, the way is bad. I tread all paths to death and destruction. But that thou passest me by in silence, that thou blushest, I saw it well. Thereby did I know thee as Zarathustra. Everyone else would have thrown to me his arms, his pity, in look and speech. But for that, I am not beggar enough. Didst thou divine? For that I am too rich, rich in what is great, frightful, ugliest, most unutterable. Thy shame, O Zarathustra, honoured me. With difficulty did I get out of the crowd of the pitiful, that I might find the only one who at present teacheth that pity is obtrusive, thyself, O Zarathustra. Whether it be the pity of a god, or whether it be human pity, it is offensive to modesty, and unwillingness to help may be nobler than the virtue that rusheth to do so. And with that, we're actually going to come to the end of the episodes, because I did not realise I'd run over the time. So, I will say thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.